Page 79, one of a kind. In this piece we're going to improvise using the stuff we just learned on page 78. We'll talk about a few things here. I'm going to start with the right hand. At the beginning on these chords, this is fine. Fingering 1, 3, 5. There's staccato. Just a wrist staccato is fine. If you don't want to put the thumb on the black here, you have to use here. You can reach it, then go ahead and do that. Otherwise, you have to use 2 and 5. So it's 4, 3 here. So you can use 2. If you want to do that, that's fine too. Last of the first line, look at the last measure. You have the first chord is fine, and the next one you have an F sharp, G sharp. You got to hold the F sharp down, it's a half note as you play the A. And then we go on. I recommend for the first measure of the second line, the first 4 eighth notes is fine, 2, 5. And then for the last eighth note, I recommend a 2, 5 again. In the second measure of the second line, you're here for all of those first few eighth notes, and then suddenly you got to go to here. It's a little awkward. We don't have to do that either. You can go from here, you can use second finger, you're there, just move over a little bit and get it. And then 3. And that's fine, you don't have to use the thumb on the G. You work out these little fingerings so it doesn't have to be that awkward to play. Can be if you want it to be, go for it if you want it. And the last measure, again, you got that. If you don't want that, you got to finger that here. Or something where you can put your second finger on the black note. You'll have to figure it out. Then, going on, third line, fingering is fine. Now, in the next measures, they want you to improvise. They don't really give you notes. The G's are not the notes. You're not playing those. They're just sort of giving you the beats, really. They could have given you the vertical lines or something for the beats, is all it is. They want you to play 4 quarter notes, and in the last measure, a quarter note, a quarter rest, and a half note is what they want. So what they're going to do is we're going to play those first 2 measures, the notes in the first 2 measures, but we're going to improvise the rhythm. In other words, we're playing quarter notes instead of eighth notes. So instead of this, we're playing this. Rest. And a half note there. That's all it is, just improvising. We're changing the rhythm. There's a note there to play it 3 times. So measures 11 and 12, which is the last 2 measures of the third line, we're going to use longer rhythms the first time through, and then we can mix it up however we want for the other 2 times. So for the play with me, what I'm going to do is for the last 2 measures, for the second time, I'm going to play the notes an octave higher with the altered rhythm. So the second time through, it would start out here, and then I'd go up here. Like so. That's the second time. Then for the third time through, I'm going to play it, the last 2 measures, an octave lower. So the third time it would be this way. And that's how I'm going to do it. You can do it any way you want, is what I'm saying. So alter it on the last 2 measures. Improvise something. Then the last line, we have this. Watch this carefully. Whoa. They're saying a 1. I prefer 2 on the B flat. For the last one, in the right hand. Left hand, not so bad. You're in this position to start. And we're here. Pretty straightforward, not too bad. Well, let's go down. The first three lines hopefully are not a problem for you. But the last line, you're here, 1 and 2 and 3, or 1, 1, 3, 1. So, well, let's try this out slowly. The roadmap is, we're going to repeat the first two lines. There's a repeat sign. Then we're going to repeat the third line, and we're going to play it 3 times, so we're going to repeat it twice. We'll play the last line, most of it. Then we DC out coda, so we DC, go back to the beginning. And then we play the first 2 lines again. And then there's the coda sign, so then we jump to the coda, which is that last measure. But there's a note, they want you to play the coda 3 times. In other words, we're going to play that measure 3 times, and we're going to get softer each time. Now they're using pedal, I'm going to leave pedal out. What I can do is finger pedal it. And that simply means instead of here, I'm going to hold down the B flat. I'm going to finger pedal it. Basically, that's what the pedal would do, if I'm right. And then again, softer. And then the third time, still softer. You're kind of dying away. Do the best you can. That's the idea. That's the effect they want. Let's try this slowly to check notes and rhythms. I'll give us 4 counts since it's a 4/4 time. So put your hands where they go. There. Okay. 1, 2, and ready and go. And. Repeat. 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 To the top. Repeat. Play it again. Last time. Now we're going to hold. 4, hold, 2, 3, off.